Hi everyone, we're going to make cereal bars today and we only need a few ingredients. They're super easy, super fun, and really delicious. So you need a few ingredients. First you'll need some unsalted butter. So the way we measure butter is by the stick. So on the stick there are your ingredients to measure. So a quarter cup of butter is a half a stick. So half a stick of butter or a quarter cup is going to go into a microwave bowl, safe bowl. If you don't want to use unsalted butter, you can, or you don't have it, you could also use regular butter. Just at the end, when we add a pinch of salt in, you'll just not add that pinch of salt in. If you want to go vegan, you could use an earth balanced butter, again, quarter cup or a half a stick of that. The second ingredient that we're going to need is going to be honey. So we're going to do a quarter cup of honey. If you don't have honey, you could use something like rice syrup, or you could use corn syrup. You can maybe try some maple syrup might work, but I would stick with maybe honey or brown rice syrup or corn syrup for that. The other ingredient is going to be brown sugar, quarter cup again. So we're measuring that and we're going to pack that in nice and tight like you're building a sandcastle. Then we're going to be using some vanilla, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 3 cups of Honey Nut Cheerios. If you don't have Honey Nut Cheerios, you can use any kind of cereal that's very similar to a Cheerio. So it could be plain Cheerios or an off-brand. So again, use what you have in your house. And then our last ingredient is going to be raisins, 1 cup of raisins or anything equivalent to 1 cup. So you could use chocolate chips, you could use trail mix, you could just use nuts or seeds, again, equivalent to 1 cup. So now, here's how we're gonna get started. We're gonna put in, again, our microwave safe bowl, our butter first. Our second ingredient is going to be our honey. Now when you're pouring honey into a measuring cup so that it comes out, it's super sticky, so you wanna spray it maybe with some cooking spray first so that it slips right out of our honey, of our measuring cup. So we've got a quarter cup of honey, and I'm going to pour that right in to my bowl. And as you can see, that just kind of slips right out of there real easily. The next ingredient is going to be our brown sugar. So we're going to pack that in nice and tight into our cup, our measuring cup. So we've got our measuring cup here, and we're going to pack that in. So let me open that up. And you just take your measuring cup right inside the bag, and you just use the palm of your hand, packing it in like you're building a sandcastle. The way that you know it's been packed, you dump it out onto your hand. If it looks just like the measuring cup, you know you did a good job packing it in. Put that into your bowl. You're going to stir that a little bit, and we're going to put that into the microwave for 1 minute. We're going to be putting this in the microwave 3 times, 1 minute each. So the first time, 1 minute, we're going to put it into the microwave. And there we go. As that is start microwaving for the minute, what I want to make sure you know is that brown sugar hardens when air hits it. So when you're done using your brown sugar, you really want to push all the air out of your bag and then seal it nice and tight. I like to then put a rubber band around this, and then once I have a rubber band around it, I put it inside of another plastic bag. That way, when you're ready to use your brown sugar again, it's still going to be nice and soft. If air gets in there, then it's going to be hard. But if it does become hard, you can always put a piece of bread in there for, I don't know, about an hour or so, and that'll soften up your brown sugar also. So if it does happen to you, don't worry. You've got a way to soften it again by putting a piece of bread in there. So once this microwave shuts off the first minute, I'm going to use a pot holder and put it on my hand because the bowl might be a little bit hot. So I'm going to open the door, I'm going to take out my mixture, and I'm going to stir. And it just looks a little bit on the bubbly side right now. So I'm just stirring a little bit. And now the second time, I'm going to put it in again for another minute. So there we go. I'm going to place this back into the microwave. This is our second time going into the microwave for a minute. Again, now, while that is microwaving for my next minute, I'm going to prepare my 8x8 square pan. So the way I'm going to prepare that is I need either foil or parchment paper. I'm going to use parchment paper today. I'm going to go a little bit larger than my pan. So I'm going to pull that out, so a little bit larger. And then I'm going to spray it so that my bars don't stick to this paper and be real easy to pull them out at the end. So I spray it with some cooking spray. And I'm just going to set that aside while I'm waiting for my minute to come up, and then I'm going to stir again. So again, I'm going to use my oven mitt, and when the timer goes off, I've got 6 seconds. I'm going to stir again. This time it's going to be a little bit on the foamy side, maybe a little bit more bubbly. I'll show you what that looks like. So yep, we've got some foam going on here, and really kind of bubbly. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can. But anyway, you want to stir that again. It really is starting to smell like caramel, and so it's looking a little bit gooey and caramely, smelling delicious. And stirred it up a little bit. And again, my last and final time, this is the third time, I'm going to put it in the microwave for 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to set that. While I'm setting that, I'm going to get my Cheerios ready. And I'm going to measure out 3 cups of Cheerios into another bowl. One, 2, and 3 cups of Cheerios. Again, if you don't have Cheerios, you can use another type of cereal. You can use a plain Cheerio, but the Honey Nut Cheerios are really delicious in this cereal bar. And so once that goes off, I've got 20 seconds. I'm going to then add my vanilla to that mixture and a pinch of salt. From there, I'll add in my Cheerios and my raisins. Again, if you don't have raisins, you can use whatever you have at home. It can be craisins, it can be chocolate. The chocolate's going to melt. You can add nuts and seeds. So make it fun, make it interesting, make it with whatever you have at home also. And that's my last minute. Put on my glove. Now it's going to be a lot hotter and super bubbly. So I'm going to use my mitt. I'm going to stir. And it's really thickened quite a bit here. So I'm going to add my 1 tablespoon of vanilla to this. And when I add my vanilla, it's going to really bubble, so be really careful when you add the vanilla. Don't let that scare you. I'm going to add my vanilla, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt, since I used unsalted butter, and I'm going to stir. And that's when it starts to bubble a little bit, when you stir your vanilla mixture, or you stir your vanilla into the mixture. All right, I have that stirred, so now I'm going to add in my raisins and my Cheerios. We're almost done. Quick and easy, like I said. My Cheerios, 3 cups of Cheerios, and my 1 cup of raisins. I'm going to break those apart a little bit. And again, if your bowl is hot, put your oven mitt on. And I'm going to stir just to completely cover all that mixture into my Cheerios and my raisins, because we want this to stick together, and we want every piece to have that good flavor of that caramel that we made in the microwave with the butter and the honey and the brown sugar. So there we go. We have it all nice and mixed together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into the center of my baking dish that I have my parchment paper in, or again, you can use foil for this. I'm going to pull this a little bit closer, and I'm just going to dump this